Hi, welcome back to the channel. We have another message. The dawn of a new day is approaching. It is true that many things seem lost, some out of place, like my hair. People appear more desperate than usual. The bombardment of the media overwhelms everyone willing to listen to the news. Not that we should alienate ourselves from the world and its events, but not everyone has the strength to keep their vibrations high and offer a prayer for the planet's well-being or for those affected. It is necessary to live in the world, but none of you truly belong to this world. All, without exception, belong to the spiritual homeland and are on earth in a temporary internship, as the term suggests. So, why do you care much about your hair and everything that happens to you? Part of it stems from instinct for self-preservation, as the primitive part of our brain, supported by our past experience, reinforces ideas of lack, that if we don't save or accumulate things, goods or money, we will face hunger or need. Another aspect of this is our own greed. Have you noticed that when we are living, we are incarnated, no matter the era, we are never satisfied and always want more. First, it was slaves, horses, or our neighbor's cart. Today, it's car, houses, cell phones, travel. In short, our suppose or imagined needs find no restraint in our weak minds. On the contrary, we accept without questioning the stimuli from the mass society in which we live. To sustain our jobs and the structures we have created, we need to consume, buy, acquire, possess, only to realize, after the euphoria has passed, that the joy of acquiring something is fleeting, disappearing when we recognize that we don't need most of the things we bought. Why does this happen? Because instead of placing our happiness in relationships we build or the moral achievements we gain, things and desires have become the new holy grail of illusions. Do you think I'm exaggerating? How many people do you know who make their lives miserable by drawing in debt? Have you experienced yourself this? One key word: detachment. Pay more attention to the intangible, to what truly nurtures your soul. Have you noticed that the treasures of the soul are free? They cost nothing, and their fruits provide a much more lasting sense of well-being than the material goods. Remember Christ's maxim: outside charity, there is no salvation. Every time you think about buying more unnecessary things, like a new pair of shoes, clothes, or a phone, when your wardrobe is already overflowing, choose charity instead. Think about who you could help today, right now. If you can't think of anyone, ask us for an opportunity to be useful. Ask Christ, and you will see that the impulse to consume will diminish or even disappear. Don't believe it? Try it and see. By acting this way, it will become increasingly sorry about my English, easier to resist the appeals of materialism. Of course, consumption drives the world, but the forces of darkness exploit this system as a very effective way to enslave humanity. This happened because humanity, as expected, has evolved morally, no longer so susceptible to barbarism as in centuries past. Thus, the unhappy brothers refine their mechanisms to exploit the imperfections of modern society, where consumerism is still a widely accepted practice. Those who suffer most from this are the less fortunate, as they endure more deprivations than they should. But they are not the only ones. The wealthy also suffer, but from a different perspective. With the ability to buy everything and everyone, the lack of limitations translates into a false sense of power, which they believe they possess, affecting them more and the more deeply. For this reason, be thankful for not having everything you ask for, which is already a blessing itself. How many of you have the moral control necessary to manage large sums of money? How many of you wouldn't lose yourselves? How many of you wouldn't allow yourselves to be exploited, attracting even more ignorant brothers? How many of you wouldn't corrupt or degrade the weaker ones? Do you really want that kind of responsibility? Do you really want to risk plunging into the deepest abyss, throwing away the progress and ascension you have so arduously achieved? Dear brothers and sisters, do not ask for what you are not yet capable of managing wisely. Wealth and power, while they may bring many conveniences, joys, and pleasures, also contain terrible potential for choosing the wide path that leads to ruin. May I offer a suggestion? First, give thanks for what you have. Then, strive to manage the goods entrusted to you wisely, giving each their due, being charitable, and rejecting selfishness, greed, and the uncontrollable desire to possess everything that is out of reach. When you find a secure balancing between what you have without coveting what you don't, and between giving without feeling you have done too much or too little, only then you'll be happy. You'll be ready for the trials that demand greater responsibility and moral control. Virtue lies in the middle, but according to Aristotle, it's the just mean, which can lean slightly more to the right or to the left. Thank you for listening to me according to the guidance of our mentors, we will begin addressing everyday topics to illustrate and to draw attentions to what needs to change in this increasingly different and paradoxical world. A fraternal hug. I will return as soon as possible. Thank you.